videoing this? Probably he's videoing it. Look, we're
No.
we are twins. Kev. Love you, man.
What's going on tomorrow, Kev?
Getting chopped up.
Don't say chopped up. Oh my god.
I think we're rolling.
Does that make sense with my music choice now when I lift?
Makes perfect sense. Sorry, we're just riffing on music here.
I love it. What's up, guys? Project My Life, Anthony here. I told you this week from episode 50 to 59, I'm going to be pulling people in
Can
randomly.
you close that door all the way because they're really loud? I'm sorry.
I'm going to be pulling people in randomly and asking them, I always talk about believe in yourself, trust the process, and practice patience. I say it over and over and over, and I'm pulling people in to see which part of that they resonate with most, because there's people here who have really transformed. Obviously, you know Kevin by now, right? Kevin's down. How much are you down?
Today? That's a good question. I like to say I was down 65 at my lightest.
And has kept it off. He's at his lightest, so he's probably maybe put on a few pounds.
Let's say I'm still in the 55 to 60 down range.
But that's okay because I think you're at the point too where we need to start eating a little more, develop some muscle, get some, more density to you. So
And I always say there's a 10-pound window once you get to a goal weight.
unless you're a chick.
If there's there's a
5
5-pound window, 5 up or down.
Yeah.
Hey,
Excuse me.
As long as my new clothes fit, I'm okay with that.
Well, 10 pound both ways, both directions. So 5 up or 5 down.
Gotcha.
When it's summertime, you want to get lean, drop 5, and when it's wintertime, maybe the holidays, you put on.
Yeah.
Not this holiday season because I'm challenging people to lose weight. But anyway, at any rate, we've seen Kevin kind of go through a bunch of transformations, and you've seen videos from Kevin before. Kevin has a couple things going on. Tomorrow you're going in. I'll let you explain. What do you got going on tomorrow?
I'm getting a hernia workout tomorrow.
Okay.
And don't worry, it's not a hernia that I've gotten here. It actually was a pre-existing condition. Believe it or not, like when I was heavy, right? Like I noticed that like when I was leaning out a few years ago, I noticed it. And then I got heavy again, and it kind of went away. I guess all of that kind of keeps everything together. And obviously as I've been leaning out and working out more, it's, become more apparent, and it's, kind of gotten in the way, of doing my best training and doing my best running and so forth. So I'm like, let's get it taken care of.
Now there's an obstacle, right? So Kevin's been doing well. He lost weight. Not only lost weight, he changed his lifestyle completely. Works out 5 to 6 days a week. Yoga, Pilates. Like he's fully engaged in the process, right? Fully committed, I should say. Now he's got a huge obstacle, challenge. He's going in for surgery. How long are you gonna be out?
That's going to be a question when we, get the follow-up, but, the estimate's usually 4 to 6 weeks, as far as, like, not working out. And I think I'm going to be, like, sitting there and be like...
Yeah, I'm saying more like 6 to 8 for lifting.
Yeah, so it's going to be, hard, because I've always said, like, for me, like I said, I'm a creature of inertia, right? Like, when I had bad habits, it was very easy to keep those bad habits through. Once I started developing good habits, and it was like little things, right? Like during transformation, right? I'd come in at night, and Anthony would be like, "Okay, bro, you should come in the morning. Come in the morning. Just get it out of the way. Get it out of the way." And I'm like, "Oh my God, that's the last thing I want to do." But I'll try it. I was off. I started coming in at 9 a.m. Went back to work after the holidays. I'm like, "All right, I'll come in at 7." And like now that's
your
That's
norm.
every
thing
day,
now,
right? Like I'm
yeah.
waking up like 5:30 on the weekends because I'm like,
There you go. So you're willing to change
yeah.
and be open-minded, and I just suggest it because it gets it out of the way, and I'm a fan of it.
But it's good because it keeps it front of mind. It's like, you put it off at the end of the day, who knows what comes up.
It's awesome. So you like it better now?
Yeah, I do like it better. I mean, I still kind of wish I could sleep in some days, but I think we all do. But yeah, no, it's something in, not getting up and jumping, into the gym first thing, like that's gonna be so weird, for a couple
It's your
of
new
You
days.
can
norm
still
now.
come in and say hi to us.
Oh, you mean now going through your right? So you're going back to your comment
just
about
hang
being
out.
a creature of inertia, which I love that
Yeah.
kind of phrase and that analogy, and perpetual motion, right?
Yeah.
So all right, so there's no reason why you can't walk down here. You're gonna be able to walk, so
Yeah.
why not walk down here, have a cup of coffee, and bullshit with us,
There we
and
go.
sit on a foam roll or something.
Every morning.
And you sit on the foam roll or something, because those habits are going to keep you going. Now, I when I had my bicep, that threw me off
Yeah.
a little bit, my routine off, but I was going into it with just a better mindset. I feel
Yeah.
like I was not better, a mature mindset.
Yeah.
If that would have happened 10 years ago, maybe I would have gained 15 pounds, 20
Right.
pounds. This time I adjusted. I looked at it as like a sign to like calm down a little bit
Yeah.
and get more rest, and I got so much rest.
Mm-hmm.
But you recovered so fast because the ability to remove yourself completely and allow your
I would
body
be
to
lying
heal.
if I said I felt, I still feel my right is stronger than my left. There's still like, I'm still working on connecting and making them balance, but that's part of the process, right? But anyway, so you have an obstacle coming up. I think personally you should just keep your routine. I would love to see you in here every day and keep that. How are you gonna? We talked about your food stuff,
Mhm.
right? So are you nervous about gaining weight? Are you nervous about not working
You
out?
know, it's funny. Like the thing about like gaining weight or losing strength, like those aren't the things that are like make me nervous. It's like the silly little things like I'm so used to getting up and go to the gym, or like I always get up super early and have breakfast, and before I work out. Now like we're gonna be playing with some kind of intermittent fasting here, so I'm like, well maybe I should sleep in just so I'm not so hungry in the morning.
It's not a bad idea because you heal when you sleep too.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's a great opportunity
So,
to get that in.
Yeah, so I mean, it's
100%.
really, for me, it's just like the kind of stark change in behavior that's making me a little like, all right.
Well, change is good,
I
right?
know I'll manage it, but if that's what's going to jar me.
Came up today again with intermittent fasting, and that somebody asked me. It's another Ask Many. We should do an Ask Many separate podcast from this. But what are my thoughts on intermittent fasting? I think it's good. I think it's great. I think it works. I think if it makes sense for your lifestyle, I think you should do it. For instance, we factored in some kind of intermittent fasting with Kevin for his surgery, and the fact that he's not going to be working out as much. Lifestyle is going to be a little bit different. He's overcoming something. And I did that when I tore my bicep, and I think it worked very well, and I love it. It kept my weight down. It kept me kind of still doing the things that I would normally do as far as making my shake in the morning. It was a new routine that I created that kept me going through it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now people just do intermittent fasting because it's easier to just not eat than it is to actually learn how to eat.
Mm-hmm.
So it's easier just to eliminate foods, right? So that's a whole separate podcast, but it's funny that came up again today.
But as long as you're getting the proper nourishment in those times that you're eating to heal.
Right, and like my diet's evolved obviously over the last year and change, right? Where I started with transformation, like a relatively low calorie, like a 1900 or so range, right? And then worked up into, I think I've been doing like 23 and change or something now, 2300 and change.
Real quick, sorry to cut you off. So he started lower, and now he's actually eating more food because he has more muscle and his metabolism has been manipulated, so he can handle more food. So people often think like diet. Well, yeah, you have to be restricted in the beginning if you want to burn the stored body fat. But once you get the stored body fat burned and you start building up your metabolism and building muscle, the ratio shifts. Now you have more fat to muscle. Now you have more muscle to fat. You can handle more food, and now you're actually ended up. I'm glad you brought that up. It's a little gem in here amongst
I gotta
the
say,
stuff.
I love it. It's like I'm talking and there's a little asterisk, and then it goes to the footnote here and explains everything. I need you in my life like all the time because like. But anyways,
I love it.
to bring it back, I was gonna say I think the way we're doing this and kind of cutting out, shortening that eating window means that I'm not, when it comes to lunch, it comes to dinner, especially with holidays, right? Holiday parties, going out with coworkers.
Right. On top of it, you're going into the holidays.
I don't need to be like picking a little bird during the day because it's like, okay, I can have more of my calories later in the day because I've got that shorter feeding window. So it's going to be tricky not tricky. It's going to take effort to change into that. But that said, I think both from a healing standpoint and from a kind of getting through this time of year with a lower calorie, it's going to be better.
I was just gonna say, man, like on top of going through some surgery, which that could screw you up any time of year. Normally, you're going into it during the holidays where there's excess food, there's excess drink, there's more of a lax kind of environment.
It's dark, it's cold. Your body wants to hold on to calories to keep you warm. So that's also a challenge.
Super challenging, right? But I think that because you've been doing it for so long, you have enough ammunition, enough tools, enough skill set to know how to navigate your way through and not gain the weight back, and just get back right on board
Mhm.
even better
Right.
than having to gain weight and then try to start from there and build your way back up. The mental, it becomes a mental health issue at that point, losing weight and gaining it.
Yeah.
But I think that's actually, it's cool that we're talking about this because people, why did you do a holiday challenge during this time of year? Nobody's going to want to do it. I say, well, it's supposed to be a challenge, and if you can navigate through this season and you get better at those situations, you'll be better off the rest of the year.
Yeah.
People just do well January, maybe February, maybe into March, but then they start either getting bored, or they have an event that they don't know how to plan for, and their typical foods, talk about inertia and routine, their foods aren't there, so they gravitate toward different foods, and then they just have a black or white issue, and then they kind of go off the deep end again and gain that weight back. But you're faced with some challenges, but we should do a follow-up after this, just see, or even document the whole thing. You know how I like to document everything. All right. So
if I see you in the operating room as the anesthesiologist putting the mask on tomorrow, I'm gonna be like, oh God, just
who let him in here?
Just blur out.
HIPAA!
Just blur out this.
I got a backstage badge on. I'm like backstage on the film crew.
Oh God, I gotta tell you, when I first started dating Anthony, he had his dad build. You have to see the YouTube video of it, by the way, of Pops
I should throw that out.
putting a Lazy Susan on the wall, and the video camera was on pretty much 20 hours a day, capturing footage of every aspect of life.
Wow.
But we have some cool stuff we have some cool conversations,
99%.
not intimate stuff.
No.
That,
99% of the stuff that we filmed, nobody's ever gonna see.
No.
It's not gonna end up anywhere. But there's some cool gems to like look back and like see the dumb shit that we used to do. Kevin, which one of those three things do you resonate with most?
Goodness.
And let's talk about it.
I think we talking like overall or like looking at
Your journey and the biggest one that stands out based upon your journey.
I mean, obviously all of them work. I'm gonna go with trust the process.
Awesome.
Also because I'm a 76ers fan, but no, but just because it has been a long process, and it's funny, even like with you're talking about like holiday food. When I started Mansformation, it was like November 7th last year.
Yeah, we're just after a year.
People were like, "Oh my God, it must really suck doing that during the holidays," and I'm like, "No, actually, it's really good because, if you wait until January 1 or 2 to start, you've probably put on an extra 10 pounds throughout the holiday. So like, even just like mitigating that, was very helpful. But, it's also something where you don't want to say, I'm going to skip the excess, I'm going to eat clean, eat smart during the holidays if you don't trust that it's going to be part of a long-term strategy. And that's, something where obviously there's a lot of times where I'm like, hey, I could have gone and eaten this or gone out, stayed out for drinks this later or so forth. But like at the end of the day, I'm like, I know it's kind of a long trek. And I mean, you'll appreciate this as a runner too. It's like, you don't want to stop at like mile 7 of a half marathon and just kind of like chill out talking to your buddy for 10 minutes. It's like you've put that effort into it and you're like, hey, I'm making good time, I could hit that PR, same kind of thing. It's like, you trust that you're going to put a lot of work into this, but at the end of the day, it's like a blueprint for success.
Compounding, and then every little thing adds up to a bigger thing.
Yeah.
That's awesome, dude.
I've never heard anybody explain it that way. That's really awesome, actually. It's a great perspective.
He's a strategist, man.
There we go.
He's a strategy guy.
He's definitely, yeah.
You can, it's all on video now, so you can like kind of take some notes and be like, all right,
take notes.
This is what I want to say next time somebody starts the Mansformation.
So in a personality test, would Kevin be the analytic?
What was it? It was the.
Did you take that one?
I was a logistician.
Logistician, yes, that's it. I can see that.
Sense. I think so with Alex.
Yeah, Alex was
wife,
the.
I think his wife was in it. Logistician.
Alex was a logic something, but there's two different ones.
Yeah.
He was the other one, I think.
That's wild.
Yeah, I could see that though, because you're definitely
I
knowledge.
actually forgot what I was. I gotta go look back at that.
Aren't you like a mastermind or something like, or entertainer or something?
No,
I was
Karen
the
was the
entertainer.
You were the entertainer.
Hey.
No, I wasn't. I was the. I forgot what I was. But wait. Is there another little gem in here? The more we keep talking, did you start your transformation during the holidays?
Yeah.
Yeah, in November. Yeah.
November 7th. So he's 13 months right now.
Yeah, but I started just before Thanksgiving. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you did all right, dude.
He
So-
crushed it during the
Whoa,
holidays
whoa!
last
Can we
year.
just talk about that for a hot minute? Wait a minute. Do you see? Do you think that had any impact? Seriously though, you know. I mean, do you think that had any impact? Being forced, not forced. You willingly did it. Went into the holiday season trying to get some more kind of control over your eating habits and have a better relationship with food. And do you think that had a bigger impact on your long-term success?
I think, I mean, one thing I can look at it and I can, obviously that's, the hardest time of year, to really be doing that. And, it is something, come, January or February or March, or you've been doing this for a while, and you're like, I don't know if I can keep this up. Looking back and saying, I managed this through Thanksgiving, I
Right.
managed this through Christmas, I managed, all the cookies and candy were there and I could do it. It's like, you get like the hardest part done first.
At
Love
the
that.
hardest time, because the
Yeah.
beginning is the hardest because you don't have that skill set, the habit, the structure already developed. So you have two things going against
Right.
you right there.
Yeah, I'm going to use another analogy. So, like,
Oh.
Broad Street 10 miler,
Okay,
right? One of my
yeah.
favorite races down in Philadelphia. It's a net downhill. The only uphill is between, I want to say, mile 2 and 4, or 3 and 4, or something like that. So there is a point where it's like you're running and you're going uphill and you're like, if I can just get over this little crest, like it's all kind of coasting downhill from here. And I mean, you're still obviously pushing hard. It's not,
Sure.
you're not, on roller skates, just sliding. You're still running, but same kind of thing. It's like, you get through November, you get through December. Now it doesn't help that I have a February birthday, so that's another little day you gotta avoid there. And it's dark and it's cold and it's
Right.
wintry and but once you get through that, like, and you start getting into the spring and summer, it's like you've been doing it. You built that habit up.
Love it.
So yeah, I definitely think that it was really cool to start then, and I think you doing like the challenge this year, is also a cool thing because again you're just if you can, it's like if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere kind of thing.
Teresa, you ever hear eat the frog, or the phrase eat the frog?
Don't look at me for phrases.
I think
you know
I-
how I don't get those.
Eat the frog. Eat the frog first. I don't know.
It's something like that. It's
Do your most challenging task first thing in the day, or get the biggest thing that you need to get done first. And
like
the rest
getting
is
up early
easy.
and going to the gym.
You're absolutely right. And then once you accomplish that, it's like shit. What can I do now? So
Yeah.
it's kind of the same thing. You getting through that period. Boom! That makes me very happy, man. Kev, any piece of advice? We're over the 9-minute mark. We're actually double the 9-minute, but these are fun
There we
podcasts,
go.
and I think people are listening. People are digging them. They're getting great feedback.
Yeah.
And if not, you should be. There's great content here. So, Kev.
Yeah.
You can look or just speak into the
Alright.
universe because we're recording it. One piece of advice to give to somebody out there who may be struggling with some part of their diet plan or exercise routine.
Mm-hmm. I think the two things that worked best for me was just being stubborn about it, right? And there are going to be times you're very successful and times you're not, but
What do you mean stubborn?
well, like keep pushing through. Like this goes back to the trust the process kind of thing. Like it's you start, maybe you take off weight real quick just because that's the low hanging fruit, and then you kind of plateau a little bit. And it's one of these things you just have to trust that you keep up the hard work, that's gonna, help you along. And I think the other thing, honestly, is, it's not just accountability buddies, but it's like get get a support, system for what it's worth,
I love
And
that.
that's why I think, that's, when you say, are you worried about like getting back to the gym after surgery? I'm like, no, because like, I know I'm gonna get an email like January 2nd from Anthony saying, yo bro, man, we haven't
An
seen you.
email, or are we just gonna knock on your door and be like, Kev?
I might get a buzz in the apartment and be like, hey, it's the Benettis, come on down.
Throwing shit at your window.
We brought some kettlebells.
As long as you respond positively to that, we will be there for you.
No, but what I mean is like, like if I'm away for a week because I'm sick, I get an email, hey man, how you been? I missed you,
Yeah.
and that's good both from okay, I guess they like me here, but also from it's a little reminder. It's sometimes, I don't know, I'm the kind of person that it's easier for me to say no to myself than like to say no to my friends.
A lot of people are, absolutely.
So, that's good. So, I mean, like, you just find someone, whether it's a trainer, whether it's a friend, whatever, to just kind of like be on that journey with you, even if they're not doing the same thing. I mean, I joke when last summer sometime we were trying to come up with a good word for what Anthony is, and I said I call him my fitness Sherpa. He's like the guy in the mountain that's done this 1,000 times. He knows where every little rock is and whatnot, but he's there every step of the way.
That's awesome.
So it's like you're
I
climbing
appreciate that, man.
Everest. So
That's really awesome.
I don't know everything. I don't know every little step, but I have been around for a couple of years, and I do have some things to share, and I appreciate that very much. Man.
You find someone, whether it's like whether it's someone who's working out with you, at the same stage, or someone who's done it and kind of shown that it can happen. And
surround yourself with it's been said cliche thousands of times, but you're some of the people you surround yourself with, and I firmly believe in that, and that's what this place is. And I feel like at some point we say rise above. That was our mantra this past year, which we got to find something for 2020. But rise above, meaning lead by example. You talk about inertia.
Inertia.
Did I say that right?
Inertia.
Inertia.
Yeah.
You create that inertia, and like you said, you're stubborn. You're gonna force it first. So forcefully
that's still there.
forcefully push it out there, and then you're actually attracting more of that, because then people start become depending on that, right? So like for me, it's not always like I have to motivate myself as well, right? I'm not perfect, but by looking for you and being around people here, I find inspiration from that, and it kind of just circulates the energy, man. So
and I know we're running long, but I'll say
It's
to build off that, it's like I think one of the biggest things that kind of freaked me out here, and I guess freak is the word, but the first time somebody here made a comment like that, like I was serving as like a role model in what I was doing, which like one kind of scares the shit out of you, because you're like, oh, I better keep my game up. But it's cool when you think about it, because and I'm not even looking at this as hey, I'm cool, but like it's kind of validating that what you're doing is working. And it's also nice because if people have helped me along the way, one, it's nice to be able to help people, and two, it keeps you a little honest too, right? Someone says, hey, I'm doing this because I saw you do it, and you succeeded there. You don't want to come in 2 weeks later with a slice of pizza in hand and belly hanging over your waistband and go, hey, all right, you got this now, I'm good.
Right, and you could do that too, but usually you're happier if you're not. But I say it all the time, man. People inspiring people, and that's really what it comes down to. And I think, I tell everybody, once they lose weight, it's like there's a lot of pressure that comes with that. Yeah. And I felt that pressure for many years of having to be that person all of the time, all of the time. And it was like, fuck, sometimes I don't want to be that person. Now I've just openly accepted it, and I'm kind of numb to it, and I've learned, navigated my way to how to step into that role 100%, right? Yeah. But people are like now you're going to be expected to be Kevin, and I always bring it up. And I'm like, hey, you meet Kevin? Kevin's down, I always bump it up. Kevin's down 70 pounds, and he's kept it off.
Because Kevin lost 450 pounds.
But I brag about you, and I say that your role is to inspire somebody else, because that's the perpetual kind of energy and that inertia that's going to
Pay
keep.
it forward too.
It's also going to keep you going, right? So you feed off of that. When you're inspiring others, now you feel that inspiration. Now then they look to you for that. Now it becomes like this momentum of like you having to be that role. So part of the success is being that person for somebody else. I believe some people, and you're going to just naturally by default, be inspirational to other people because of what you've done. I say feed into that. And that's what this place becomes, like a circulatory. What's the word I'm looking for?
I have no idea.
Well, it's a cycle. It's a, what do they call it?
Cycle of life.
A virtuous cycle.
Oh.
See, I knew there was a better term for that.
Just
This is a powerful one, guys.
So-
It's just wrapping up everything that we've talked about with Project My Life, people inspiring people, overcoming obstacles through the holidays, making a commitment to transform, change, being willing to change your habits up to see a change. Powerful. I don't know. I'm hoping that we can inspire just one person to kind of make a change in their life, to create happiness and create a more fulfilling life, and making them a better commitment to themselves for the long-term game. And this is powerful, man. This is a really, really good one, man.
And I'm going to sum up one thing. The two things that Kevin said, if you're struggling with making the change, is A, get a good support system around you. Accountability partners are the best for that because they help pick you up when you're not feeling great, or if you don't feel motivated, they can help, inspire you. So that's one thing. And the second takeaway was when you stumble, when you fall, just get back up and keep pushing through, because we're all going to have challenges, we're all going to have obstacles, we're all going to hit the ground sometimes, and it's not a matter of how many times that happens, it's what can I learn and how can I push past. So consistency, persistency, and support system.
I heard something today. You're either learning or earning. You're either earning success or you're learning how to create success by your failures. And what's the difference? Is an L. A loss.
Loss. Ooh, who said that? Gary Vee?
I probably
It sounds
heard
like a
no,
Gary
it was
Vee
actually
thing.
it was actually Tim Ferriss on Gary Vee.
Oh, there we go.
okay.
Boom!
There you go.
All right, guys, believe in yourself, trust the process, practice patience. Thank you very much.
Bye. Happy holidays.
Screenshot.
What the heck? We're in the middle of a conversation.
No shit, that's what a podcast is
Oh,
all about.
Jesus.
I just wanted to say our sponsor today is Lulu.
Lululemon, get your Swiftly on.
I mean, we just want to
Metal
take
tag.
a special note of that. We are not paid
Sorry.
sponsors.
Speak for yourself, baby.
Oh shit! Oh
I get
shit!
commissions.
Bam.
I mean, I guess. I didn't pay for these clothes.
I paid
No,
for mine.
I did not pay for mine.
I paid for mine, guys. So cool one here.
I just wanted to give that little
Lulu
shout out.
probably
to
likes
Lulu.
me best.
You're right.
You do, you're right.
I'll take it.